What is up, guys? So of course we didn't have any major CPU or GPU launches at CES, at least ones that couldn't really be shown by add-in board partners. So when we went to the Gigabyte booth, we weren't really sure what we were going to see or anything like that, but they actually had quite a lot. So today we're going to tell you about their PCI Gen 3 SSD that actually will give you Gen 4 speeds. We'll also tell you about an awesome portable drive, their new Designare memory, as well as a pretty awesome gaming monitor. Our CES 2020 coverage is brought to you by Kingston's A2000 entry-level NVMe solid-state drive. With up to 1 terabyte of capacity and 3 times the performance of a traditional SSD at about the same price. So starting with the AORUS RAID SSD, that is their Gen 3 add-in card that is actually going to give you Gen 4 speeds. And the way that, Gigabyte is able to do that is they have an enterprise-grade NVMe RAID controller on the card. And the card is made up of 4 512 gigabyte Gen 3 cards. So with that, you're gonna get speeds of 6,300 megabytes a second read and 5,900 megabytes a second write. So again, Gen 4 speeds on a Gen 3 card. And the way, the reason that I think that this is important is because there's many people that haven't gone over to AMD or they don't want to, or you just have a system that you don't want to upgrade right now, but you want that Gen 4 speed. So if you're on Gen 3, you can still get the speeds of Gen 4. Now, Gigabyte is only going to offer this in a 2 terabyte version, and it's going to be available at the end of February. We do not have pricing right now. Gigabyte was also showing off the Gen 4 version of the add-in card, and we saw this actually at Computex. And at Computex, it was tested on an X570 system, getting around 15,000 megabytes a second read and write. Now they have it running on a TRX 40 board, so you're gonna get more bandwidth that way. So they were showing it at the show here, and it was getting almost 20,000 megabytes a second read, which is really, really fast. Gigabyte is going to be using their Designare branding for different products now. So we saw it with their motherboards, but Designare is all about creators, people who create or who are creating content. So they're going to be releasing the Designare portable drive, which is a USB 3.2 2x2 drive. I hate USB naming. But this is a sleek little portable drive, can be easily thrown in your pocket, uses a Type-C connector, and it has really fast speed. So it's rated for up to 2,000 megabytes read and write. So again, if you are on the go, you're creating content on the go, you need a fast little drive, this is the perfect thing for you. Now this is going to be available in February, with the 512 gigabyte version being $149 and the 1 terabyte being $249. The Designare branding is also going to make its way to memory. So we have seen Gigabyte release memory, their Rgb Memory, of course, targeted towards gamers and people like that who really want RGB. With the Designare, it's made for creators once again, and creators don't really need RGB. They're not looking to show off their system. They're looking to get work done. So these memory modules will have sort of a, just a silver heat spreader with a black PCB, just a sleek overall look. The really interesting thing about these modules is that they'll be available in a 64 gigabyte kit. So again, if you're using Premiere or DaVinci Resolve or Photoshop or anything like that, you know that you need a lot of memory. So this will be a 64 gigabyte kit running at 3200 megahertz, and it will be $329, available at the end of this month. Gigabyte did have a graphics card that was pretty new. It was announced, I think, back in November, but we really haven't seen it, and that is their GeForce RTX 2080 Super OC Waterforce. I know it's a super long name, but it's actually the first time that Gigabyte has brought the Waterforce line down to their Gigabyte cards. We typically see that with their AORUS cards, super crazy RGB in your face, whereas this card is a little more toned down, but it's made to be affordable. So again, if you're not familiar with Waterforce, that is their graphics card with an integrated water block built into it, so you can easily throw it into a custom loop. This card looks really great. You can see the opening in the front where you can go ahead and see your coolant and everything like that. It is going to have a full backplate as well, and it will have RGB lighting. But again, the whole reason for a card like this is just to be a little bit less expensive than their AORUS cards. And just to, you know, bring Waterforce down to the Gigabyte brand, which is really cool. Now, this card will have a factory overclock of 1845 megahertz compared to the 1815 of the reference card. No word yet on pricing or availability. Gigabyte will also be launching monitors under their main Gigabyte brand. If you remember, they initially launched their gaming monitors under the AORUS brand, but they're bringing that back down now to the Gigabyte brand, which I think is really cool, and again, making things more affordable. They're actually launching 3 displays at the show, but the one that we really wanted to talk about is the G32QC. This is a 32-inch 1500R curved display that is a 1440p display with a 165 Hz refresh rate. It's also HDR 400, and you're going to get 90% DCI P3 coverage there. It's also FreeSync Premium Pro compatible as well as G-Sync compatible. And the one really cool thing about this monitor, all of the monitors actually that they're launching, is that you can use the software. So when it comes to setting up the monitor and configuring it, typically you'd have to go behind the monitor and use a weird control button or hit a bunch of buttons. With this, you have the software just like you had on the AORUS monitors. So you can load up the software, do everything right there. You don't have to, you know, press a bunch of buttons or anything like that. So I think that is really great. And the other cool thing about this monitor is that it has a built-in KVM. So basically you connect your keyboard and mouse to this monitor, and then there's one USB Type-C cable that will plug right into, you know, any device that uses USB Type-C, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a phone, and then you have keyboard and mouse functionality on that device, of course, with your display as well. So this is great for somebody who uses a laptop as their main computer. You take it to work or take it wherever you're going, come back home, plug in one cable, and then you can, of course, do work on the big display with a keyboard and mouse. This is also great for people on mobile. So, you know, say you're playing PUBG Mobile and you want to own somebody with keyboard and mouse, you plug in your USB Type-C and you're pretty much good to go there. Now, no word yet on release date on this monitor, but we do know it's going to be around $370. So that is it for Gigabyte at CES 2020. Again, you have the Gen 3 drive that's going to give you Gen 4 speeds. You have the Designare portable drive. You have the Designare memory. You have that awesome Waterforce graphics card. And then, of course, you have the new gaming monitor. So let us know in the comment section below which product was your favorite. And of course, be sure to check out our CES 2020 playlist. We'll see you guys in the next video.